Did you know that nearly 3 out of 4 women over 50 quietly accept a decline in closeness and connection, believing it's just part of growing older? The truth is, it's not a biological sentence, it's a cultural one. Too many women are told to lower their expectations, to put their needs last, and to quietly surrender one of the most joyful parts of life. But that belief is completely false. Real passion and connection don't fade with age, they simply change shape. With the right care, awareness, and mindset, women can experience deeper fulfillment, emotional warmth, and confidence than ever before. As women move through midlife, the body changes, hormones shift, and priorities evolve. But that doesn't mean the pathways to closeness or desire are closed. In fact, when we learn to work with these changes instead of fighting against them, connection can become more meaningful and pleasure more powerful than in our younger years. In this message, you'll discover 10 transformative ways to reignite confidence, connection, and joy as a woman over 50. These are not quick fixes or unrealistic promises. They're real, practical, and proven ideas that help you rediscover your spark, not by becoming someone new, but by remembering who you've always been. Let's begin with the first and most powerful truth. Real fulfillment doesn't start in the bedroom, it starts with communication. The way you express yourself to your partner can completely transform how deeply you connect and how much joy you feel. For years, many women have been taught to stay quiet about their needs, to prioritize their partner's satisfaction, or to feel embarrassed when talking about closeness. But silence is the biggest barrier to happiness in a relationship. When you speak openly and honestly, something beautiful happens. Your partner finally understands what makes you feel seen, valued, and loved. I once heard a woman say she thought her husband should just know what she needed. But no one is a mind reader, and our desires evolve with time. What felt fulfilling at May 30th feel very different at 55. Communicating what you enjoy or what makes you feel emotionally connected isn't awkward, it's empowering. When you use kind, direct language, you invite your partner into a shared experience rather than creating distance. Real communication is an ongoing practice, not a single talk. You can begin in simple ways, over breakfast, during a walk, or while spending quiet time together. Every honest conversation builds trust, safety, and emotional intimacy, which are the foundation of lasting desire. Once you find your voice, the next step is about rediscovering yourself, learning to reconnect with your own body and emotions without guilt or judgment. So many women over 50 grew up in times when personal pleasure or self-care wasn't openly discussed. Maybe you were raised to put everyone else's needs before your own, or to feel that exploring your own feelings was selfish. But when you take time to reconnect with yourself, through touch, self-reflection, relaxation, or even quiet mindfulness, you begin to understand what brings you joy again. I once heard from a woman who had spent decades focusing only on her partner's needs, and she'd lost touch with her own sense of joy. When she began taking quiet time to simply listen to her body and emotions, she rediscovered a part of herself she hadn't felt in years. She said, "For the first time in so long, I felt alive in my own skin." That kind of awakening isn't about replacing a partner, it's about preparing yourself to share who you really are. The more you understand yourself, the easier it becomes to guide your partner toward connection that feels deeply fulfilling. Your body is capable of new forms of pleasure and connection at every stage of life. What once felt automatic might now take more patience, tenderness, and attention, but it's no less powerful. When you give yourself permission to explore and express, you transform guilt into freedom. You step into intimacy with confidence and calm. And that brings us to the next revelation, that connection isn't something to rush. Many people think that physical intimacy is only about one specific act or outcome. But the truth is, what happens before and during closeness, gentle affection, shared laughter, and time spent together, is often where the deepest joy is found. These moments aren't just a warm-up, they are the heart of true connection. As the body changes, it may take more time to feel ready or relaxed, but that doesn't mean desire has disappeared, it just means your body needs a little more care and patience. Slowing down and focusing on emotional warmth allows you to fully awaken your senses. Every touch, word, and look becomes more meaningful. The most powerful relationships thrive not on speed or performance, but on presence, on the simple joy of being fully there for each other. When you take time to nurture that connection, to slow down and listen to what your body and heart are saying, something amazing happens. Intimacy feels lighter, easier, and more natural again. And that leads to the next key insight, one that helps transform every experience into something smoother, more comfortable, and far more enjoyable. That's what we'll explore in the next part. Another powerful truth for women over 50 is that comfort and connection go hand in hand. When your body feels cared for, your mind can relax and open to closeness. This is where simple tools, like moisturizers or lubricants, can make a world of difference. Many women experience changes in moisture and sensitivity as they age, and that's perfectly natural. But far too many feel embarrassed about it, thinking it's a sign of lost desire. It's not. It's just biology, and it can be easily supported. Using a product that helps your body feel smooth, soft, and comfortable isn't something to hide, it's something to celebrate. It means you're giving yourself permission to enjoy your experiences without discomfort or self-consciousness. Think of it like caring for your skin or hair, a small act of self-love that brings back confidence and ease. When you approach this with pride, not secrecy, you create an environment of trust and relaxation where pleasure naturally follows. The next important shift is releasing the pressure of performance, both for yourself and your partner. Many couples tie intimacy to expectations. Everything has to go perfectly, everyone must perform in a certain way, and every moment must end with the same result. But real connection doesn't depend on performance. It's about being present, playful, and emotionally open. When you remove the invisible pressure to get it right, you rediscover the joy of simply being together. One woman once shared that she felt anxious every time she and her husband became close because she worried things wouldn't go smoothly. That pressure made her tense, and she stopped enjoying the moment. When she finally let go of the idea that every experience needed to look a certain way, she found that laughter, closeness, and affection returned, naturally. When you accept that intimacy doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful, you make room for freedom, spontaneity, and warmth to return to your relationship. Another powerful step is learning to relax and release stress together. Nothing blocks connection faster than tension. When your body is full of stress hormones, it's hard to feel calm or responsive. But small shared rituals, like taking a warm bath together, giving each other a gentle massage, or simply lying in bed holding hands, can reset your nervous system and restore closeness. These quiet, mindful moments remind both partners that intimacy begins long before any physical act. It begins with peace, safety, and emotional trust. In fact, couples who create calm together often find that desire returns naturally. It's not about trying harder, it's about feeling safe enough to let go. Once that happens, affection flows freely again. The next idea might sound surprising, but it's deeply effective: scheduling time for connection. Many couples wait for the perfect moment, when they're both relaxed and in the mood. But life after 50 is busy. Between family, health, and daily responsibilities, waiting for the perfect moment often means it never happens. Planning time for intimacy doesn't make it less romantic, it makes it intentional. It shows your partner that they matter, that connection is a priority. And the anticipation itself can reignite excitement. Couples who set aside time for closeness, whether it's a special evening once a week or a quiet afternoon together, often say it feels like dating again. They start to look forward to it. They talk more, laugh more, and feel more connected, even outside the bedroom. Now, let's talk about something that deepens all of this: mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment, free from distractions. Too often, people are physically close but mentally far away, thinking about to-do lists, work, or tomorrow's plans. When that happens, connection fades. But when you focus on your breathing, on how your partner's touch feels, or even on the sound of their voice, you bring yourself fully into the experience. That presence transforms everything. You feel calmer, more connected, and more aware of every beautiful detail. Over time, mindfulness doesn't just improve intimacy, it enriches your entire life. You start to notice beauty, kindness, and gratitude everywhere. Finally, movement and energy play a big role in how you feel. Regular exercise, stretching, dancing, or yoga can awaken your body and boost your mood. It improves circulation, balance, and strength, but more importantly, it restores confidence. When you move your body, you reconnect with it. You feel alive again. That sense of vitality naturally carries into every part of your relationship. One woman once shared that after starting gentle daily walks, she felt more radiant, not just physically but emotionally. "I feel more like myself again," she said. And that's exactly what this entire journey is about, coming home to yourself. Because in the end, the most beautiful truth is this: intimacy doesn't fade with age, it evolves. The best years of connection, pleasure, and joy can begin right now. When you communicate openly, release guilt, nurture your body, and stay present in every moment, you rediscover the kind of closeness that grows richer, deeper, and more meaningful with time. You are not past your prime. You are entering your most confident, connected, and radiant years, and it's never too late to begin.